Sorry I couldn't give you much warning that I was going to do this Facebook Live. It's Christmas after all, and things have been a little bit busy. I just have been sitting thinking, you know, a lot changed for me this year, a lot really improved. And if I was going to pass that on to you, and you were somebody wanting a big change for 2018, what would I recommend you do? Now, of course, there's loads and loads of things, but actually, I think there's one core thing that was at the centre of me finding all of the different answers. And that was when I started, and I started in, I can tell you exactly, I started in June. I started to journal. I was bought one of these really simple journals from Sainsbury's. It's really simple inside. It's got just like, it's just got like a date, and it's got like a margin with things to do, and then it's got notes along here. And I started this in June, and initially I filled it up. I had one for every 2 months, but my last one has been for 3 months, and I think that's probably fine. Now, the reason why I really recommend it is because a number of things. If you're wanting to make a change, there's probably some stuff you're not so happy about, and there's probably some stresses and strains and so on. And what I found was that by writing, I mean, I think writing is quite magical anyway. I am very keen on writing, but I found that by writing, it helps to empty your head of all your thoughts and worries. Now, those of you who've done some of my law of attraction work know how important this is, because what you focus on, you create. So if you're reducing the focus on the worries and so on, then, you know, obviously that's all good. But generally speaking, it just means you're less stressed because it's out of your head. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's now in your journal. So that's good. Oftentimes I found writing, so when you start to write, you write, but then it's good to actually just not think about it too much. They call it automatic writing. Not think about it too much and just kind of keep writing. And often then the natural brain function will find you an answer as well. So that works really well as well. So I'm just checking. Hello, Inga. I just saw Inga arrive. Sorry. My makeshift phone holder is actually a photo holder. I'm just taking like literally a few minutes from the kids, and so I was just getting a picture frame and it's holding up my phone. So yes, so journaling, it gets stuff out of your head, helps you find an answer. It also gives you real perspective on things. I think when you actually write them down, you know, they may be a little bit less bad than you thought. Or, I mean, sometimes it highlights things that you really need to make a change on. Hi, Inga. Hi, Sharon. Hiya. The other thing is that I go back, and that also gives me some perspective. So, so like I say, I've got like June to July 2017. I scribble all over it. I don't keep these particularly lovely and neat or anything. And at the end of each period of time, I go back and I do a review. And you know what? I have a really bad habit of being quite harsh on myself. And I find that I have achieved in that period of time a lot more than I actually thought I'd achieved. And the stuff that, okay, so I don't do quite so well, it helps me look at it and it helps me think, okay, well, if I don't want to do it like that next time, what can I do? So, so that's the other advantage of journaling. Obviously, it's the end of the year. So, if you were going to start journaling, I would really recommend actually having a really good think about your year and what you've achieved and what you didn't achieve, and have a really good review, because actually, you know, it will be much more positive than you think. But it will also help you to think, oh, you know, how do you want to change it too? When you're journaling, keep it light, don't make it heavy. It's not like, you know, that kind of, I must write a page every day. I love the idea of the morning pages. Any of you who've come across Julia Cameron, she recommends in The Artist's Way that you do 3 A4 pages every morning and like brain dump. I love that idea, I really do, but seriously, as a working mother, I have not got the friggin' time to actually sit down and write all of that stuff. So that's not going to happen. Now, so in my journals, if we go to my most recent one, I used to do like a whole day for the first side, but now, as you'll see, I actually don't. Sometimes it's sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes it's 3 days. I do whatever I need. Generally speaking, this side is the day, and this side tends to be to-dos or stuff I've been reading, notes. I mean, I am quite a prolific reader and take note of stuff. So that's what the other side is. But you know, if I want to, I would completely change that and use the other side as a diary. The other thing, so any of you guys who've been on my Time for Change course, you'll see this one's got lots of sticky things. I love a bit of stationery. So this is where all of my downloads, so my course, my free course, Time for Change, which by the way, I'm going to run again in January. So keep your eyes open for that free course. It's like a free introduction to the law of attraction. All of my downloads for that were in here. You always need a bit of gold pen to highlight stuff. This is really, really important, and highlighter. And it means I can go back. So literally all of my notes are in here. That's the other thing that I use it for as well. Let's see, what else have I done? I made some notes to remind myself what else I've done. Yes, so at the beginning, let's see if it's this one, got it. At the beginning when I start, because also I'm monitoring my health. I have had a really big improvement in my Lyme disease over the last 6 months, and I'm sure part of it is down to the journaling because it's helped me focus, as well as things. I'm much happier with the kids and how much time I'm spending with them. So that's come from the journaling process. And of course with the business as well, all of my ideas and inspirations go down into my notes. So what I do at the beginning, when I first start my journal, is I write like a little note of my current situation. I also, in the margin, write what my current treatment is, so for the Lyme disease, because that helps me think, right, okay, that's what I'm doing, what am I going to progress it with? Then I have something I call to monitor on this one, to monitor, which is things that I think are really important that I tend to like ignore. So it's highlighting I need to normally sleep, hydration, dog walking, am I having enough fun, and am I doing enough creative stuff? It's those sorts of things that I put into monitor. And then I write, I think it was this other one actually, I will write what do I want to achieve, and I go back to this so you can see I've been relatively successful, so to achieve at home, and I'll go back at the end and I'll tick or put little halves if I got some of it. And then I've got to achieve for the Mummy Whisperer and to achieve for a Spiritu. It gives me some real clarity, and then I go back, and if I go back and see there's not as many ticks as I wanted, then I really think it through. I even, especially at the beginning, I even will write down what's my ideal day. This is a really good idea if you want to make a really big change. If you do want to make a change, I mean, what do you actually want to make your change to? And then because I've been working a lot, I mean, when you've got something like Lyme disease, your emotional mental health is really, really important. So I will keep a note of what blocks I'm working on as well, and what I really want to focus on for the 3 months. And that is how I start the journal, so that I can keep going back over the 3 months, ticking things off and so on. And then right at the end of the 3 months, I will do a summary. Where's mine? You can see it's not really particularly neat what I do. There we go. I love a bit of gold pen. So this is my summary from October to December. And then because it's the end of the year, I then did a summary of the whole year because I had all of my notebooks, so I went back. The other thing I find it really, really useful for is because I am researching things to help me with my Lyme disease or with my work or stuff like that, I find that the notes that I've written, because the problem with people with loads and loads of journals, which was one notebooks and that sort of thing, is you read the book, you write your notes, but do you actually do anything with it? And I find that going back means, and I do that normally at the end of the month, reminds me of what I've learned and it helps me really integrate it and kind of keep it. Other things that some of you might find more useful though is to-dos, so like you're downloading, so you'll come up with a list of to-dos for the next day, quotes and notes. A bit of drawing and doodling would be really, really good, either to help get stuff out of your head or to focus on. Let's say you decided you want to focus on doing more, being happier or having more fun with people, then on one of the pages you could doodle and draw. I'm really sure that doodling and drawing and so on is actually really, really good for you as well. It kind of really gets that creative process going. You might want to put photos in. You could use it as part of scrapbook, which would be really, really nice as well. And the other really key thing I do, because it helps me to monitor what helped with my health. So my health has been obviously one of the key things, is you'll see down in the margin, it's got the date, and then it will have things like, did I go for a walk? Did I do Pilates? Did anything major happen? A, that really means that when you look back over the year, you can quickly see the key points that kind of cropped up. But B, it means that I can look back and go, I've also got a little Fitbit as well. So I've been really having massive success with pacing by monitoring how many steps I'm doing, and in here monitoring my stress levels, so that I can see, you know, if I get a little bit of a flare up, why I might have got a little bit of a flare up of the Lyme. For you guys who are well, it would just help you know why you got tired. It just, sometimes we forget if you haven't written down. I mean, my memory's rubbish, so writing things down helps me remember, and there's so much busyness going on in my life that actually writing a few notes of what's happened this week helps me keep track of actually where I am. It's very grounding for me, I suppose. So there you go. My real top tip, if you're looking for making a big change next year, is a journal. It's adapt it for how you want it. There are tons of YouTube videos on this, but I'd really keep it very, very simple. Personally, I just use it for what I use it, and I've adapted it, and it's not neat, and it's drawn all over, and it's got notes, and it's all scribbled, but it's really, really helpful. I'm absolutely convinced that this is what has helped improve my year. So I will be doing this in 2018 even more. I'm gonna start adding in the doodling and the drawing in it, and a bit more kind of a memory thing as well. I really hope this helps, and it was very impromptu, me just popping on here, so thank you those guys that actually watched, despite the fact that I didn't warn you or anything. And Happy New Year. I am going to do you another video really close to New Year if possible. It's a way of focusing, some of you will already have heard of it, but a little meditation on how to pick a word for the year. That it's about focus. You're going to have much more success if you decide you're going to focus kind of on one area that you really want to change by the end of the year. So I'm going to do a meditation for you hopefully before the end of the year, if I can, if not very, very soon after. And watch out for some information. I will be running my free Time for Change course probably from the second week in January, so there'll be some information about that coming out soon. Oh, hi Debbie, thank you so much, thank you. Right, take care everybody, and bye bye.